Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video on why I got married at 19. So I get this question all the time, and every time I tell someone that I am 21 and I'm married, they're like, why are you married? You're married so young. You have a whole life to live ahead of you. That's what I hear every time I tell someone that I'm married. And so I've actually been married since I was 19. So what would they have said if I was 19 telling them that? So I'm going to tell you guys the pros of being married so young, why I got married so young, and what helps us keep a healthy relationship being married so young. But before we jump into that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, follow me on all of my social media that is linked in my YouTube, and give this video a big thumbs up. But let's jump right into that. So I just want to start off by saying this: marriage is a huge commitment. It's not always going to be fun. It's not always going to be bad. It's not always going to be sad. It's not always going to be happy. You're going to go through a rocky road with your marriage, and just keep in mind it's a commitment. So just look at it as the best way you can, and just know that there's going to be good times, there's going to be bad times, there's going to be sad times, because nothing in life is perfect, and your marriage isn't going to be perfect, and you can't expect it to be. You can only try to make it be perfect. But the first point I have is that if you guys are dedicated to each other, then your marriage will work. Communication is key in a marriage. If you don't have communication, your marriage is not going to be good. That goes for a relationship. If you don't have good communication in your relationship isn't going to work. I don't have that good of communication, and that's something I've told myself I've got to work on, because I'm really bad at communicating. When I'm mad, I don't like talking to anyone. I don't like opening up. That's not just with Christian, that's with anyone. If like one of my friends makes me mad, I don't like to talk about it. I like to be on my own and let my steam go by myself, if that makes any sense. And I don't know if there's anyone else like that, but for me, that's what I found works best with me. And Christian has worked with me and realized that whenever I'm upset or mad, I want to be left alone. I don't want to be talked to. I don't want to be bothered. So he's learned that throughout our marriage, that being by me 24/7 when I'm upset, like, it's only going to make everything worse for me. So he just walks away, gives me my space. That's how I let my steam off. So throughout a marriage, you'll learn what makes your significant other mad, or what makes them happy, or what you don't need to do when they're upset, or things like that. So you'll learn with your significant other that there's many different ways things are handled. So my second point is that it's humbling. You grow with each other. You're a team. You face things in life with each other at such a young age that you never knew even existed, because you've never experienced it, because you're still growing into an adult, and you get to face these with your significant other, and like growing into adults, like buying a house, buying vehicles. You're doing it together. You're not doing it alone. And it's just a satisfying feeling, like knowing that he doesn't know this and I don't know it, so we're gonna work together as a team and figure it out together. Like, we're learning how to do our finances, budget our finances, buy things, like interest rates, like everything that I never ever did as a kid. I'm learning it with him, and he's learning it along with me, because we're a team, we're working together. So everything that I do affects Christian. Everything that he does will affect me. If he does something stupid with finances, it's gonna affect me, because we share a bank account. We're married. My name is on things that his name is on. So it's not only gonna affect him, it's gonna affect both of us in the end. And that's what you have to look at and make sure of, because every decision you make in life from now on is gonna affect your significant other, no matter what, because you're sharing bank accounts, you're sharing a vehicle, like both of your names are on the cars, like on a house. So anything bad or good that your significant other does will also affect you in the end. So just keep that in mind. Like, we work together as a team, so we know not to do anything stupid. We talk about anything that we do before we do it to make sure we both approve of it, because I'm not gonna go buy a $50,000 car without him knowing, and then it's screwing him over in the end, because financially, what if we couldn't afford it? What if we didn't have the finances for it? So talking about anything like that before you make a big decision in life is super awesome, because you have to look out for what's going to happen in the end and how it can affect you in your marriage, your finances, anything. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And we are very grateful to say that we've outlasted most relationships just because we work our asses off with each other. We don't let little things like affect us majorly. We talk it out. Like, I'm not saying we don't fight, because we do fight. Everyone fights. I'm not saying we're perfect, but we have managed to grow with each other and learn what not to do, what to do, and what will make us stay together and work as a marriage and a couple. And that's super awesome to say, because I mean, nowadays it's hard to find any loyalty. It's hard to find commitment. It's super hard, just because like social media is taking over. Guys want girls to look a certain way, or girls want guys to look a certain way, or girls want girls to look a certain way. No matter what, there's people out there that are like perfection, and that's what guys are expecting nowadays, and that's what makes it so hard. So just keep that in the back of your mind, that working your ass off for your relationship and your marriage is so worth it in the end, just because at the end of the day, that's the only person you have. Like at home, if you're living with them, you go home to that person. Like, just work as a team. That's like literally what a marriage is. You're a team. So just know that, like, it's an awesome feeling, like knowing that we've worked so hard with each other and we're still here 5 years later or something like that. I don't even know. Like, he does that. He remembers all the dates and all that. I'm like, yep. So also, my next point is being married so young keeps youth in your relationship. Like, we're obviously both still kids, if you want to look at it that way. Like, I'm 21, he's only 23. And there's a lot of growing up that we have to do. Like, we're not adults yet. We're not in our 40s or our 50s. Like, we haven't faced life things that other adults have. Like, we still have a lot of growing up to do. And it's just super awesome because we're doing it together. Like I said in my other thing, like, we're facing these things in life that we have not faced yet, and we're facing them together. And that's what I think is so awesome about being married so young, because you just grow as an individual and as a couple. And also, being married so young and living on your own, it makes you grow up faster because you don't have your parents to depend on. You don't have your parents paying your bills for you. You don't have any like parental help, especially me, because he's in the military. So like, we're thousands and thousands and thousand miles away. So I quickly had to learn how to do things on my own. I didn't have anyone tell me how to do anything. So like, I had to learn how to do everything on my own. So I managed the finances in our relationship because I'm just super OCD. And I have everything written in a book because I like to know how much, when things are due. And that's what I found myself works for me, just because everything getting thrown on me at once, it was like a panic and I was freaking out. So that's kind of what helped me realize, like, it's okay. Like, things are gonna be stressful, but I literally had to grow up at 19 years old, learn how to do finances, pay my own bills. I didn't have my parents paying anything when I was 19 because I moved out. I was married. So that's kind of how my parents looked at it. It's, you're married, you have a husband, so you need to manage your money, manage your finances, handle it on your own. So that was a huge part of the process of growing up, is me just getting, like, with the military, having to move so far from family. I couldn't depend on anyone. I had to depend on me and Christian. And at times, like, if we got into arguments, I wouldn't be able just to run home to my parents if we got in this fight. I couldn't be like, oh, I'm going to stay at my house. Like, we had to work it out right there because we lived together. So it's like, I couldn't just run home because I was 1,000 miles away home. So we just worked it out. And yeah, that's kind of what helped us grow too, is because we had no close family. Like, so in the end, we're living together and it's our marriage. So we did anything to fix anything. And at first it was super hard. We were fighting all the time. I was super depressed because I was so far away from family at 19 years old. And I was thinking to myself, am I doing the right thing? Like, I kept asking myself, is this what I need to be doing in my life? Or am I still young? Do I need to go back home, live with my parents, go out and party all the time? Because I look back and I see everyone that goes out all the time. And then now that I'm 21, I mean, I know that 3 years isn't much, but now out of those 3 years, I have grown as an individual and realized, like, going out and drinking all the time isn't what I want to do. Like, if other people do, that's awesome. Like, if that makes you happy, then do it. But going out and drinking and spending money and stuff like that isn't what I want to do, because I don't have the help of my parents. I don't have the support. I don't want to go waste money on alcohol and stuff like that. But it's awesome for people that do, like, or have the money or have the support or can afford that, like, to do that. So another thing with our relationship, we keep our boundaries. So we don't overstep anyone's boundaries. We know what upsets each other. We know what makes each other angry. We know what makes each other happy. And we don't do anything just to literally piss each other off, because we know that it's gonna piss each other off. So why do it, and why start an argument? And we've learned throughout the years the boundaries, like, not to cross. Like, whoa, that's too far. That was way too far. Because it's a growing process. And when you're growing with each other, you're learning each other. You're realizing what you guys are doing. Like, also, like, Christian was, okay, so as bad as this sounds, whenever Christian and I first got together in high school, I couldn't go do anything. I couldn't go hang out with my friends. He was super controlling. He literally, like, got mad if I even talked to my friends. Like, I lost all my friends. I lost anything. All I ever did was hang out with him. He was the only person I ever saw, which is horrible for a relationship, and it's super controlling. So having that free time, having that trust, being able to go out and hang out with your friends without your significant other is super, super, super healthy for a relationship. Because as we grew, I go out with my friends all the time and he doesn't care. Like, he's fine with it. But the younger him, whenever we weren't mature, he would freak out if I ever did anything like that. Even if I went to the beach with my friend, he would have freaked out. But now, so I go and do what I want and he goes and does what he wants, which is super, super healthy. Like, being together 24/7 for us as a, like, for our marriage does not work, just because we need time apart. I think that in our relationship, we've learned that being with each other so much is not healthy for us. And going out and doing things with other people or going out with friends, it helps us as individuals, because, I mean, we get that time apart that we need. And that's just something we've learned in our relationship, that we need time apart. We need friend time. We need to go out and do things without each other. But like I said, back in his high school days and my high school days, that was a no-go. He could not, like, he would never allow me to do that. And my best friend, Serena, hated him because of how he was controlling over me. And then I look back, I'm like, I'm so grateful that we have grown as just individuals and a couple, that, like, my relationship isn't like that anymore. And for those of you who are, I hope that you guys grow as individuals. I hope that, like, you learn each other, and I hope that it gets better than that, because I know the feeling and how miserable I was, because I felt so restricted. I felt like I was dating my dad, honestly, because I was not allowed to do anything. Like, 24/7, constantly with him, everywhere we went, doing with him. Like, everything we did, it was with him. Everything I did was with him. Every time I went with my friends, it was with him. It was like I was always with him, and I was just smothering. And especially when someone told me I couldn't go hang out with my friends, and I was only, like, I don't even remember how old I was. I think I was like 18. I wasn't even allowed to go hang out with my friends. Like, it was horrible. But now, like, I go hang out with my friends, I do what I want, and it's awesome. Like, I go home to Florida, like, by myself without him, and I go out with my friends, and it's awesome. So, like, just keep that in mind. Like, respecting boundaries is a huge key to success in our relationship. And that's just what we've learned with each other. So compromising is another huge thing. Like, it's totally normal to have disagreements. There's nothing wrong with disagreements. I think that disagreements are healthy because you're communicating, you're learning, like, what you don't like, what you do like. And compromising, like, meeting in the middle and just realizing that, like, you don't have to be right about everything, or he doesn't always have to be right about everything. If you just compromise and you work it out, it's going to work. And I promise, like, I have a horrible time at compromising because I always want to be right. Like, I think every female does. Like, they always want to be right, and I can admit that, and that's the first step to success, is admitting it. But I've been working on it as an individual, and I'm learning to, like, just admit, like, when he's right or when I'm wrong, like, and it's totally helped out so much. So just compromise with each other and like just realize there's other things in life to be worrying about than this stupid little argument that you're right about or he's wrong about. Like, just compromise. That's all I'm simply saying. So there has been plenty of hard times in our marriage. Plenty. Like, I can't even count, and I'm not even sad to say that, because it's made us grow as individuals, and it's only made us stronger as a couple. And I appreciate it. I thank God for it, just because, like, if any of that wouldn't have happened, then we wouldn't be where we are today, because now we know how things need to be done, how we need to help each other, how we need to manage each other. So it's just super awesome, like, just knowing, like. So another thing is just being realistic about finances, because if finances are stressful, your marriage is going to be stressful. It's going to cause you guys to fight. It's going to cause a lot of anger within each other and within yourself. So budgeting and like working as a team on your finances and knowing where you are financially helped us a lot, because like he used to spend money like crazy. Like, it would make us go broke, honestly, because he would just go buy things and buy things and buy things and buy things until I got a hold of finances. And then now, like, we're on a budget and we're doing awesome. So it's just figuring out like that fine line between like your finances, how much he's bringing in, how much you're bringing in, and like saving for a home, saving for a future. Because honestly, a marriage, that's what you're working for. You're working for your future. You're working to be set up in life. Like, we want to be successful. That's all we've ever wanted. Like, we're trying to get there. Like, we're trying to get there at a young age, because we have a lot of things like in the works, and like we can only pray to God like it's gonna actually happen, because if we do, then like we're set for life. That's just a huge thing in a marriage, is just your finances, because without them, you really like, it's stressful. And we've been there. We've been broke. We've been not able to pay our bills. Like, it was hard. It was honestly the hardest time of our life. Like, whenever we first moved from Florida to Washington, it was horrible. We were broke. We spent like $6,000 getting there. And when we got there, I didn't have a job. And military pay isn't that great. And like, we had to pay rent. We had to put all these down payments down. It was just so stressful. But we worked as a team and figured out a way to like replenish our bank account and get back on our feet, which was totally awesome. And like, that's just what we've learned as individuals and as a couple, is like we work as a couple financially. All of our finances go into one bank account, and like I manage everything, so I see everything that goes in and out, and like that, it works for us. So that's all I'm saying. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I can do like another video on like the cons of a marriage, because obviously everyone knows a marriage isn't perfect and there's a lot of cons in marriage. So let me know if you guys want to see that. But don't forget to follow me on all of my social media, which is linked in my YouTube. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have an awesome day.